Yo, yo, yo. Hey, Ricky. Oh, guys, I am in Cleveland. I know that this is not my normal setup. It looks real bland. I am in a hotel room, random hotel room in fucking Cleveland still. My flight was canceled after being delayed for about 8 hours. So I've been stuck in airports, just waiting for things to just do what they got to do. So I am here and I am still in such good spirits. And I realized that it was Monday, and I was like, I have to stream. I have to host Where WWE Meets Pop Culture because it's Monday, and like Mondays don't really work out without watching pop culture and then going into Raw. And I gotta let you guys know everything that happened in Cleveland. So first off, for everyone that is new joining us, I'm Queen P.R, one half of those wrestling girls, and this is where WWE meets pop culture. I talk about the intersections of wrestling, hip hop, movies, NFL, sports, everything, because the WWE is everywhere. Wrestling is everywhere right now. It has been a phenomenal weekend. It solidified that all of these PLEs are huge. So real quick, let me just shout out everyone in the comments. Hey, Rakarsha. I know the show has started because Rakarsha is here. Hi, Matt. I have survived. Once I am in New York and in LaGuardia, then I will feel like I have survived. But I appreciate everyone's concern for me. I did not expect to be in Cleveland for 2 days straight. So thank you. Everyone that is new, where WWE Meets Pop Culture is a live stream I do every Monday before Raw, where I give you all the coolest wrestling and pop culture news. Hey, girl. Thank you so much. Hey, Krista. Yeah, so I'm gonna get into everything that I got into this past weekend in Cleveland, and some lessons that I learned this past weekend because as you can imagine, I'm still here, so nothing kind of went as planned, but I really did learn a lot, and I want to inspire other people with everything that I went through. So those that are new to those wrestling girls channel, we have been a podcast for almost 6 years now, and we were fortunate enough to be able to do media and press for WWE ever since Survivor Series 2022 in Boston. So we have, been doing this for a while. Hey, Letty. Everybody say hey to Letty. And this is my eighth WWE PLE that I have worked. And I just recently came to that and I was like, wow, what a fucking blessing that is. And I was so proud of the work that we were able to do. I think this is probably the most prepared that I've ever been. I knew what I wanted to get done. I was like, I'm going to come in. We are going to fucking kill this shit. And then the universe just kind of was like, yeah, bitch, I don't know about that. Pause. I don't know about that. I wasn't um, prepared to deal with the things that I dealt with, but I do want to just kind of share everything with everyone. If you're not following us on social media, make sure you do. You can get a sneak peek of everything that we got into over the weekend. So, a little story time. And I want to know what everyone thought about SummerSlam because I thought it was really, really good. Um, WWE this time around for SummerSlam through hosted a variety of events. It wasn't just SummerSlam and SmackDown. They were able to kind of diversify the events here in Cleveland, which I was very excited about because I love seeing where wrestling kind of connects. And then also learning that Westside Gunn was throwing another hip hop arts fashion event in addition to a pop up exhibition shop. So, excuse me, I was very excited about the different things that the city of Cleveland was offering for this year's SummerSlam. I was in Detroit last year, which was awesome, and I was in Nashville the year before. But this year it just felt new. It felt different. It felt fresh. Yes, Krista, the universe definitely humbled us for real. So WWE, in addition to all of the normal things that they were doing, they hosted a screening for Damian Priest's WWE 24, which dropped today. It's on Peacock streaming right now. I think everyone sort of was waiting for like the next WWE 24 to come out. It had been a while since we've been doing them. I know that like we have the A&E docs, but we were like, where's the 24? Like we want to know about, WrestleMania in Hollywood. We want to know about all of these things. So Damian Priest kicked off sort of the new season. And I wanted to go to this event, one, because I love screenings. Two, I love documentaries, and I've become a huge Damian Priest fan. And I learned so much about him in this doc. So highly recommend it. It is a 10 out of 10. The screening was held at the Agora in Cleveland. They took our phones, which was spicy because they had them in these like, I don't know, has anyone ever gone to like events or screenings where they put your phone in like the little pouch and you can't like touch it or anything. So that was interesting. Hey, Black Thoughts. Yes. If I don't get the fuck out of Cleveland, yo, if I am not in New York by this time tomorrow, guys, check on me, please. But yeah, so the screening was awesome. We were able to watch it. I definitely cried. Definitely cried during it because I love those like really deep stories of people's journeys. So Damian Priest, he's Puerto Rican. I'm sure you've heard he's Puerto Rican. He grew up in the Bronx, so I immediately identified with that. I learned so much about how he got there. Like I knew how he had been wrestling for a while, but I didn't know a lot about his journey to WWE. I didn't realize how much his career paralleled CM Punk's, being an indie darling, doing everything you got to do, and then finally making your dreams come true. He was sleeping on people's couches. He didn't want to give up. There was times he wanted to, but he never gave up. He kept his eye on the prize, and he got to where he wanted to be and has achieved almost all of his goals. So I loved seeing that. I didn't know that he was on the indies for as long as he was. I didn't know that he did cameos in WWE for years before he was signed. He was a rosebud. He played security at one point. He had always been sort of on WWE's radar, on in WWE's orbit. And one person that always kept his eye out for Damian Priest was Triple H. He saw something in him. He knew like it wasn't perfect at first, but he knew that there was something there, and rooted for him and said, like, I see something in you, just keep doing what you're doing. He was under the learning tree of Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. And I don't want to ruin it for everyone because it really is a heartwarming story that you kind of discover all of this new stuff. I'm not going to touch that comment, hater. Uh, okay, Matt, so they do take your phone for the screen. It's cool. So I enjoyed learning about Damian Priest's journey, and it was very inspiring. It was very like, I'm not gonna give up. Like I'm just gonna keep grinding, and I'm gonna get to where I want to go to. Um, no, learning the respect that he already had for a lot of legends. His relationship with Bailey, like Bailey, even seen that Priest had the it factor from Jump Street and was super supportive. The Judgment Day, well. I don't know if this is still true, but they are a big family. Like hearing how their dynamic helped their careers. Rhea Ripley was sort of lost before Judgment Day. Damian Priest famously called Dom Mysterio Rey Mysterio's bright son, and that was really like like what his shiny son. That's what he was. Finn Balor was, in NXT. Like we weren't really sure what Finn Balor was doing. So them coming together, Edge seeing something in Damian Priest, and then bringing this group together really revitalized all of their careers. And as you can imagine, what that meant for all of them, and they really became a huge little family. I cried watching the Bad Bunny stuff because seeing Damian Priest coming back to Puerto Rico was huge. I sometimes can't think about that backlash in Puerto Rico without like tearing up because it was just so special. He said he never felt the ring vibrate until Bad Bunny's entrance in Puerto Rico for Backlash. He said he felt the ring shaking. And I believe that because it was insane, even just to watch on television. So you see his relationship with Bad Bunny, how he took charge of training Bad Bunny in the ring. So if you are impressed with what Bad Bunny was able to do, Damian Priest was behind that. He actually took control over that. Um, but please do yourself a favor this week and watch Damian Priest's WWE 24 documentary. It is amazing. 10 out of 10. Thank you, WWE, for selling tickets to this preview screening. His family was there, which was nice. He talks about his family, very well to do Puerto Rican family. I love to see my brown people win, and just seeing such a a family full of love. Like it is really what you saw. CM Punk made a surprise entrance. The Rhea Ripley and Dom Mysterio did as well. They were on much better terms at this point. I will say I did not suspect that this would happen. They seemed like they were very much in love at the screening. They were very happy and together, so I didn't suspect anything. But seeing them all on stage, shout out to Peter Rosenberg who hosted the Q&A after. He did a phenomenal job. I really, really enjoyed it. And it was icing on the cake being able to hear from Damian Priest and Rhea and CM Punk. And Punk also, fun fact, for those that weren't there, you wouldn't know this. Punk had a bunch of media appearances that day, and he actually said, I don't want to do something to come to Damian Priest's screening. He said, clear my schedule for this amount of time today because I am going to support Damian Priest at his screening. And I just thought that was just like the coolest thing ever. Dylan, no, AJ Lee was not with CM Punk. He was not. She was not with CM Punk. I'm always looking for AJ Lee. She was not there, but all in all, dope screening event. I want to shout out the staff at the Agora. I also went back to the Agora Friday night after I went to Westside Gunn's event for Sami Zayn's comedy show. Sami Zayn and Friends do Cleveland, another event that WWE opened up for media to cover. So I like signed up for everything because I was just like, I want to experience everything. I love Sami Zayn sometimes, and I wanted to see what special guest he was going to bring, what kind of comedy he had in store. There aren't any photos or videos from this event that I could pull up for you guys. However, I think that's actually a good thing because it kind of gives you that like FOMO where it's like, okay, if you don't go to Sami Zayn's event, you're not going to know what's going on. But I will say, there were some clips, of course, that went viral. Matt just brought up one. Indy Hartwell was one of the friends that made a special appearance. And Sammy asked if there was anyone that knew lyrics to his theme song because he did. Here's a little bit of Indy actually rapping and the entire John Cena entrance song. I don't know if we have sound on that, but I was like, what? She killed it. Like she got a standing ovation. She knew every single word to John Cena's entrance. And it was so cute to see. Another thing Sammy did was wrestling themed karaoke, and DIY was his first guest. And it was a funny bit because he didn't realize that they had lost their championships on SmackDown. Yeah, SmackDown. And he was like, where's your championships? And, like, so it was a really, really good bit. Also, another good bit that Tommaso Ciampa is doing is how he's like obsessed with RKOing Randy Orton, and it's just he was just like, I hate the guy. Like, why else would I want to RKO? I hate this man. I don't know what else there is to ask. And then he was like, let me know, is he here right now? Because I will RKO Randy Orton. And it was just really, really funny. I love also hometown crowds. Cleveland showed Johnny Gargano so much love every time I was around him in Cleveland. Like the crowd was just amazing. And who else made a surprise appearance at Sami Zayn's show? Kevin Owens. He was the last surprise guest, so I was very excited about that, of course. And they did entrance music, um, so that was cool. So you got the same vibe for like the surprise entrances. But who really, 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 really impressed me was Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly is really funny. She was the perfect straight man to Sami Zayn, or I don't know if you want to call him the straight man, because they did like a promo class example, and she did this like epic promo, like demolishing Sami Zayn. Oh my god. And she was so good. I did not expect that from her. If she was to, ultimately do like stand-up comedy or just more acting and more in that entertainment realm, like I would so be here for that, because I think Kathy Kelly is very amazing. She knows how to work the crowd. She had a command of the crowd. If there's anyone in the comments that attended that comedy show, I would love to know your thoughts, because there's not a lot of footage and photos out of like what the show was about. Let me know how you enjoyed it, because I totally did. I think he should do that show every city that they do a PLE in, because it is such a fun thing to do in the midst of so much wrestling. Like I love that the fact that I was able to like go from SmackDown, go to a hip hop wrestling event, and then go to a wrestling comedy show. It was such a like fun evening. And I will be doing more recaps. I have so many photos, so many videos from this weekend that I will be posting more content on all of those Wrestling Girls channels. But the comedy show, I think, was one of my favorite ones. I will be going to any ones that they do in the future. Another awesome, awesome, awesome thing that I was able to do this weekend in Cleveland that was very unique to what I've normally been doing, and that is community service. I have a background in community organizing, and it's something that's very near and dear to my heart. I think I got it from my mom. We just really just we want to do our part for the better community. And when I saw that this was one of the events that media was able to participate in, a community service project, I immediately signed up for it because I love doing community service. And how cool is that? Like, I'm like, there was no other details. I was like, okay, I want to do community service with WWE. That's one of the things they take pride in when they go to a city, is being able to be in the community. It was at Cleveland Browns Stadium. So I said, you know what? I'm going to just show up, see what I can do. Ended up chopping it up with Big E, Omas, Bailey, the Cleveland Browns mascot. I think his what's the Cleveland Browns mascot's name? Because I was able to chop it up with him, and I really enjoyed that. I also got to meet some of the people of this wonderful city of. This is a wonderful city. I just need to leave it, but it's a wonderful city. But I got to meet some of the people in the Cleveland community, and we boxed up packaged meals for the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. I was in a what's that called? An assembly line, and my job was to put the sticker on dried macaroni and cheese boxes. My job was to put the sticker on the package that said this was packaged in courtesy of WWE. So I was like the final stamp of the assembly line, and it felt so fucking good. Like I really was able to, in the midst of this wrestling weekend, covering all these different things, I actually got the opportunity to just stop and talk to people and do community service and help. It felt really, really good. Matt, I'm so glad that you brought this up, because I did want to mention the goal of this community service project was to box up 100,000 meals for the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, and we exceeded that goal. I played a very minuscule part of that, but it just felt so good hearing the Miz, who popped up as well, who I finally was able to meet. And we WWE raised $82,000 on top of the meals. So what was interesting about this community service event was that they sold tickets to it. So what's interesting about that is this wasn't a volunteer event. You had to pay to help out, and then those ticket sales also went to charity. So this community service event was giving back on so many different levels. So I really like that, really like stuck out to me. And I told, our PR contact, I was like, any other community service projects that WWE plans to do, like, please, remember me, because I am all in for that kind of stuff. And I was not surprised to see Big E there. He's always wanting to help out the community. Bailey was there. Chelsea Green was there. So the reason why this community service event was so redeeming, and I'm gonna just get into a little story time real quick, because I hopefully want this to be a lesson, and then I'll get into Westside Gunn's fourth rope event, which was fucking amazing. But I for the press junket, if you follow me on TikTok, you probably saw the video. But Christy and I went to the press junket Friday morning, which we've done numerous times before. I had my receiver mic. I had everything prepared. I was able to get an interview with Bailey, meeting her for the first time. It was a phenomenal interview. I asked her to play word association for her best rivals. We talked about, she loved my Undertaker Roosevelt shirt, her purple hair, her match rituals, how she felt about the current status of WWE, amongst many other things. I was able to talk to Jade Cargill. She's a former basketball player. I asked her who would be her starting five right now, because, the WNBA is killing it. But I get back to my room to edit all of these videos, and you cannot hear any audio from mine or Bailey or Jade's microphones. Like, you just hear all of the other interviews that were going on in the media room. And I was devastated. And I wasted so much time just being so sad, because I'm a professional. I care about what I'm doing. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm not going to be able to provide this Bailey interview to those Wrestling Girls listeners and subscribers. Like, I posted the photo, I was devastated. Come to find out, it was just a technological thing that, shit fucking happens. The transmitter conflicted with all the other mic transmitters in the room, so it cross-wired. So someone has my phenomenal interviews with Bailey and Jade. I don't know what publication, but someone has them. But I learned that how you talk to yourself matters. I was beating myself up. I was like, I want to go home. Like, I was that fucking extra, guys. Like, I was like, oh my God, poor Brian H. Waters, because he had to console me while he was working as well. Shout out to The Ringer, by the way. They were top 10 wrestling podcast this week. They cover SummerSlam weekend. Like, they were cranking shit out. Shout out to The Ringer. And more on them later. But I was like, look, it was just a silly thing that happened. I could have never expected it to happen, and I wasted so much time. I could have been out creating cooler content, So yes, Matt, it was number 6. So learning, all content creators, it's okay. Shit happens. Equipment fuck ups happen. Keep it pushing. You're there in the city for a purpose. Get the work done. Get the content done. It is absolutely fine. But the community service event made up for that, because I was able to get an interview with Big E. I was able to get an interview with Chelsea Green. And it was so casual because we were all there to help people. Can we pull up my little sneak peek of my Chelsea Green interview? I loved it.
It's so good to see you again. So we go way back. Yeah. We go way back. And I always say Chelsea has been hardcore since day one.
That's right, honey. The people, the real ones, no. I've been doing this, like, come on. That was like, I do it in my sleep.
Right.
But actually, I don't want to do it again, but...
I mean, have you not heard of the hot mess, Chelsea? I mean, that's, yeah. Can we do it one time? I love it. So Survivor Series is going to be in Vancouver. You were one of the first people I thought about. How did you feel hearing the news?
I'm going to be the first and only person that people think about. I am so excited.
Cleveland Brown Stadium doing a community service project with the Greater Cleveland Food Bank.
It's amazing. We have 200 people here packing over 100 1,000 boxes for Meals of Hope. I did not expect to see all this when I walked in. It's really, really cool to just have everyone come together and not for anything but helping. We're just helping the community. We're trying to give back. I think this is a perfect way to start SummerSlam day.
Shout out to Chelsea Green. Full episode or interview, I should say, is now on those Wrestling Girls YouTube channel. So me and Chelsea Green do go way back. I wrote about her for the U.S. Senate back in 2021 when we were both like in the grind mode. We were like, and she was so supportive of what I was doing. She appreciated how supportive I was of what she was doing. She was featured in a fitness magazine, and she was the cover star, and I love the spread. I love ambitious, hardworking women, and Chelsea Green is one of those women. She's been on the indies for a long time killing it, but like she always knows what she wants. Like she always, she took acting classes to get better. She always was pitching ideas, and I love to see that she's back in WWE. I was able to ask her about that journey that we've both been on since 2021. I also was able to pop up on her meet and greet in the mall where the Superstore was. I went to visit the Superstore, and there happened to be a Chelsea Green meet and greet. So I was able to kind of talk to her there. She was wearing Princess Polly the entire weekend, by the way. I'm going to do a little recap there. There we go. There we go. So that's a pink version. For her meet and greet, she had a green and orange version of that dress on. I had to ask her who she was wearing, and she was so welcoming, and she remembered me, and she was so relatable. Like, I am such a Chelsea Green mark, guys. I love it so much. But yeah, being able to chop it up with her, check out that full interview, being able to talk to Big E. So I'm obsessed. I've always been obsessed with Big E. I love him. I love the New Day. I love what they do for the Black wrestling community. I've actually never interviewed him. So if you've been a fan of the show for a while, like he was my biggest crush ever. And then I finally met him, and then we became friends. And now he's like so happy in this new relationship, and you can see it like all over his face. It is wonderful. He did some social stuff with The Ringer with Brian H. Waters, and you could just see how happy he is. And I loved it. And I was able to finally interview him, which was great. And I always wanted to talk to Big E about Seinfeld because he's a big Seinfeld fan. So am I. And I was like, I that's all I want to do is just talk to Big E about Seinfeld all day. First of all, he likes the later seasons. Who likes the later seasons of Seinfeld? Like seasons 1 through 5 all day, every day. He is a season 9 fan, guys. I need to know if there's any other Seinfeld fans that are like, wait, what? You like those? So I got to talk to him about that. We talked about him being the ultimate WWE ambassador and how busy he is now, but how he likes having the weekends to himself because he can hang out with his beautiful girlfriend, and how it's really nice, but also just being able to, be that person to spread WWE, um, to the masses and attend tryouts and be that person. But one thing I am proud that I was able to do was thank him for what him and the New Day do for the Black community. I did the same thing with Bianca when I interviewed her for the first time, because they understand, but I need them to understand what they mean to our community and how important it is that they represent us in this space, and how they're unapologetically supportive of the Black wrestling community. And he actually went back in our interview and said, hold on, let's go back. I want to thank you and the Black wrestling fans for everything that they do in this space, because it is not easy what we deal with, and how supportive we are, and how we give everything, and how passionate. And I thought that just showed you like who Big E is. The fact that he needed to be like, hold on. Let me go back and also thank you guys. I posted that clip on our Twitter, but also check out the full interview with Big E on those Wrestling Girls YouTube channel. Absolutely loved it. And again, I want to just thank WWE, WWE community, and for what they did at the Cleveland Browns Stadium, because I think that is just like really, 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 really fucking cool. So I was wondering if maybe we could take a quick break, and then I will go into Westside Gunn's fourth rope event and the fashion corner.
It's so good to
So
see you
you
again.
too. So we go way back.
Yeah.
We go way back. And I always say Chelsea has been hardcore since day one.
That's right, honey. The people, the real ones, no. I've been doing this, like, come on. That was like, I do it in my sleep. But actually, I don't want to do it again, but...
I mean, have you not heard of the hot mess, Chelsea? I mean, that's, yeah. Can we do it one time? I love it. I love it. I love it. So Survivor Series is going to be in Vancouver. You were one of the first people I thought about. How did you feel hearing the news?
I better be the first and only person that people think about. I am so excited.
Cleveland Brown Stadium doing a community service project with the Greater Cleveland Food Bank.
It's amazing. We have 200 people here packing over 100,000 boxes for Meals of Hope. I did not expect to see all this when I walked in. It's really, really cool to just have everyone come together and not for anything but helping. We're just helping the community. We're trying to give back. I think this is a perfect way to start Summerslam Day.
Sorry, I had to run that again. I don't have my normal setup, guys, so bear with me. I am in a fucking random Cleveland airport hotel. I know someone, I think that is new to the channel. Mangazi, I want to say. Welcome, welcome. So I traveled to Cleveland to cover SummerSlam weekend, and my flight was canceled. So I am still in Cleveland. I was not able to make it to New York. And I saw also some of the wrestlers as well were still stranded in Cleveland, and some of my friends too. So I wasn't the only one, which is nice, that I wasn't alone. So let's pray that I am on a flight and I do land in New York tomorrow. I want to thank you so much. Thank you. We definitely was working our asses off, and it felt really, really good to be able to. And there's still more stuff coming out, so stay tuned. And thank you for checking out those interviews. Right now, I want to do some social plugs. Make sure you are following me, Queen 3_PR on all channels, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I've really been liking Threads. I don't know if anyone else is on Threads, but I've been really liking it. It's like, feels like old Twitter. I think I mentioned before. So follow me on there as well. Follow those wrestling girls on all channels and subscribe to our YouTube, because we have a lot of stuff coming out on there as well. You can check me here every Monday, 7 p.m. for Where WWE Meets Pop Culture. But we do go live about 4 or 5 times a week. Tuesdays, where and Watch What Happens NXT. That always fucks me up with CN B. Wednesday, TWG Fan Club. Thursday, Thirsty Thursday. And Fridays for schooling sessions. And me and Krista B release interviews when we can. So make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so that you can keep up with everything that we're up to. So you guys might remember I posted about an event that Westside Gunn was hosting. I talked about it on a few shows. And I was like, this is exactly what I love to see. I love to see that wrestling has caught on this like thread of like mainstream and popularity and coolness, because I don't think there's anyone cooler than Westside Gunn. You guys know about Wale Mania, but Westside Gunn is a hardcore, passionate wrestling fan, and he has a brand called Fourth Row. We talked about the tattoo he has on his back, but he throws these events. So far, this is the second one, Heels Have Eyes. 2, he threw the first one during WrestleMania weekend in Philly, and I was disappointed that I wasn't able to go because I found out so late. So I was like, oh my God, I'm totally going to the one in Cleveland, like done and done. Them tickets sold out almost so fast, and then the resale prices were crazy, and I was just like, you know what, if I make it, I make it. But there were tons of performances. I want to shout out Ricky. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but I connected with him, and he was working the event and doing a lot of cool, dope shit. He does a lot of cool, dope shit in the wrestling hip hop space as well. I look forward to collaborating with him and his team. But I was able to connect with him at the event. He hooked us up with VIP. I am friends with really cool people. So like I was with Kaz and Brian H. Waters and Ben and Cal from the Ringer Worldwide show. So I was able to get in with them, and I was in VIP. So I caught some of the show and some of of the performances, which I was very excited about. Let me find that list of performers because it is a pretty good list if you are a hip hop head. So of course, Westside Gunn, Smoke DZA was there. He did a set. Feed the Family, Buffalo Kids, Swerve and Garments, Mugs and Friends. DJ Rel opened the show. The drinks were flowing. The vibes were intact. The graphics were intact. The wrestling shirts and merch I saw in House of Blues Cleveland, I still am thinking about all of them. I love seeing it. I love the culture. I love that again, in the midst of all this wrestling stuff, I can go to a wrestling and hip hop show. I think that is the coolest shit in the world. I hope that Westside Gun continues to throw these events because I will definitely be in attendance and I really love to cover them. I do want to give a quick shout out to the photographer though, who allowed me to use his photos. Gilly Faded on Instagram. He took all of those amazing photos, and I will be posting more of those as well. But he also another passionate, wrestling hip hop fan, so I'm here for that. They also did Fourth Rope also did a pop up shop with one of one wrestling merch. I wasn't able to attend, but the line literally wrapped around the block in Cleveland, like in this little art house. Like it wrapped around the fucking block. So I don't even know if I would have been able to get in, like I don't know. But I love to see it. I love to see how Cleveland came alive in that way and just seeing the culture thriving. I started doing, speaking of wrestling merch, t-shirt cam because I love admiring the different like wrestling shirts I see when I go to shows because it's like that one time, where you can be a wrestling fan. You pull out your dope shirt. You're like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to wear to this show. I'm very passionate about wrestling t-shirts. I was just talking to Krista B. I have yet to ever wear the same one twice, either on the stream or out and about, which is really fun because it gives me an excuse to buy wrestling t-shirts. But it's also just fun to just see like how I can put outfits together with it, which I really, really enjoy doing. And Westside Gun understands that value. So his merch, the Fourth Rope merch is always really, really cool. So check out those wrestling girls TikTok if you want to check out and Instagram for more of the t-shirt cam. I want to thank Ricky, Westside Gun, his entire team for their hospitality that night. I cannot wait to collaborate more. If you are going to a city for a WWE PLE and Westside Gun Fourth Rope brand is throwing an event, go. That's it. Just go. If you have attended a Wale Mania and loved it, or you've heard about Wale Mania and was like, I always wanted to go, and you have the opportunity to go to that or Westside Gun's event, go to both. It's amazing. I also discovered a really cool sneaker vintage merch collection store in the mall in Cleveland called the Feet Geeks. That vintage t-shirt collection, I have goosebumps thinking about it. It's like shirts from the 90s, WWF logo and everything, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era. They really, really cool stuff. So if you are ever in downtown Cleveland, I hope to never be in downtown Cleveland again after this weekend, personally. But if you are ever in downtown Cleveland, check out that store. They also did a pop-up shop where wrestling merch collectors from all over Ohio came to exhibit there. So it's a lot of cool stuff happening in the wrestling merch, hip hop, streetwear space. And I am tuned all the way into that because I live for that. So I love that. Let's play a little bit of the my time examining this wonderful merch.
What you talk about, dog?
Whatever.
What you mean, little homie?
You know.
Play the post when you ball. All these niggas up on me. How you keep that baby face and how you keep it so fresh? And how you keep it look like you're vegan. Wish I was like that fresh. Hard times, flat lines, stay in my lane, you see. Boxed in, but I boxed out. Niggas don't wanna box with me. Don't bend the codes, don't break the rules, just stay true.
Okay, but can we talk about that Bape inspired Hardy Boy shirt though? 20 out of 10. 20 out of 10. That's the kind of shit that I like to see, that I will be posting more of when I am out and about and I see those t-shirts. I love it. Really quick, we'll do a quick little fashion corner, and then I will recap SummerSlam very quickly, and I will let everyone watch Raw because it is a post SummerSlam Raw. So we got to be tuned in. So I'm not I'm not gonna hold you too much. So shall we go to the fashion corner? Okay. So LA Knight, I don't know how I feel about this, but he did model his gear for his match at SummerSlam on Michael Jordan. He got wrestling boots to look like the Jordans that Michael, I want to say the 11s. I have mixed feelings about them, to be completely honest with you, but I do admire the creativity. I do admire the nod to greatness, because LA Knight did end up becoming a champion for the first time, and I think we all have been waiting for that moment. But I do like the attention to detail. I do like that fans were able to catch it immediately, which is really dope. The vest was really cool. I never am one to admire LA Knight's gear because I just like hate like the fake Jordans and stuff and the fake Tims. But I admired his dedication to greatness that night. Very much so. You can see here the vest, very structured. That white and red pops. It doesn't look like anything that he's worn. So shout out to LA Knight's gear on Saturday. Uh, sorry, I'm laughing because he always, for some reason, like wears like fake Tim's really choked, and I'm like, why? So shout out to LA Knight. I'm not sure we have another fashion corner clip, or but I did admire everything that Chelsea Green was wearing this past weekend. I was able to bump into her a few times. And it just goes to show you like how over Chelsea is and how much she's involved in everything and her star power, because she was everywhere. I saw her almost every day when I was going to events in Cleveland. She was there representing. Her meet and greet line was so long. I met this wonderful fan who was dressed like her, and I was able to talk to her. I cannot wait to release that clip. So it was a really good weekend. We were able to attend SmackDown. Oh, here's some more of Chelsea Green's looks. That's that green and orange dress that she was wearing at her meet and greet. Princess Polly, you know, I had to ask her what she was wearing, and she told me. I love you, Chelsea. So that wraps up this week's fashion corner. But I know there is so much more that I could have, but I will be releasing more of the t-shirt cam. And also, I really liked my fits in Cleveland this weekend, because I came to Cleveland with literally nothing planned, no outfits planned, which gave me so much anxiety because it just snuck up on me. But then my outfits really came together. I'll be posting them. I'll be posting. But real quick, SummerSlam. We were able to attend SummerSlam. We were in the press box. I I'll be candid on pop culture. I am not a huge fan of the press box. I don't like watching wrestling in the glass box. But I was able to get in the suite with the Ringer crew, and that was dope. Um, but one special thing that happened for SummerSlam was all in all a great show. I have to rewatch it. Yeah, I know how I am. I watch it live. I gotta rewatch it to see what I really think about it. But Vanessa Hudgens, who I've talked about on this show before, one of the biggest A-listers that's probably a wrestling fan, she posted this on her Instagram story, gagged over this storyline. That's how you know Vanessa Hudgens is a real fan. Okay? She's not a casual fan. Like, she watches wrestling every week. She is tuned in. She knows exactly where this Liv Morgan, Dom Mysterio, Rhea Ripley storyline was going. And she watched SummerSlam for the payoff, and she is gagged. And guess what, Vanessa? We are all gagged. What a way to start, this whole I believe that opened. Please correct me if I'm wrong. There's a lot going on. But that was, I love it. I love it. I'm so excited for Raw. I see the time. So it did open. I see the time. We have 2 minutes until Raw starts. So I will close out. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover about this wild ass weekend. There are still things that I'm editing to get out. You know, being stranded and my flight being canceled definitely did not help the workflow. But I want to just thank everybody for their support of those wrestling girls. Um, just every time, like, you guys are always just like right there, like on social media, just rooting us on. And to answer, I forgot who asked. On Gazy asked about the press conference. So Krista B was at the press conference. She didn't ask Triple H a question. She asked Cody Rhodes a question about the Bloodline match, and he had a really, really, really good answer. And he said that Bloodline match stipulation is his because he's never lost in that match, which is a fact. My tribal chief came back. Put your ones up in the comments right now if you are excited that Roman Reigns is finally back, the real tribal chief. That was such a good way to end the show. I kind of seen it coming, but I was okay if it didn't happen. So I was even more shocked that it did happen. Scream my head off. I loved it. Um, so I really, really, really enjoyed SummerSlam. I love that Krista B was able to kill it in the press conference. And all in all, it was a really, really fabulous weekend. And I would not take it back for the world. Pray that I get back to New York safely tomorrow. Thank you so, so, so much for joining me tonight. I wasn't going to stream, but I said, you know what? I'm going to stream and I'm going to entertain everyone that has supported those wrestling girls this weekend. Make sure you follow us for all the SummerSlam recap and catch me here every single Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern before Raw for Where WWE Meets Pop Culture. It's me, Queen PR, and I will see you next week.